Glass shattered. Baby screamed. The smoke alarm shrieked through the house like a possessed demon. Mama Sophie, what did you plug in? Emeka's voice cracked with panic as he coughed through the smoke. It's not me. It's her ancient hot plate. Mama Sophie screamed back, waving her hands frantically. My friend, your LED ring light is smoking. Mama Rana shouted, her wrapper already sleeping as she rushed toward the twins' room. A small explosion popped from the kitchen. More crying. More chaos. Get the babies out. Now. Khadija's desperate voice cut through everything. But how did we get here? Let me take you back. Back to where it all started. Cape Town. A peaceful vacation. And two women who were about to become the most chaotic grandmothers Nigeria has ever seen. Emeka Blaze was a simple man. He worked hard at his job in Port Harcourt, stayed out of trouble, and dreamed of one thing: peace. Real, actual, blissful peace. He stood in his bedroom, carefully folding clothes into his suitcase, imagining the sound of Cape Town's ocean waves. One week, he whispered to himself. Just me and my thoughts. No stress. No drama. The door crashed open. Afrobeat music blasted from a Bluetooth speaker. Emeka. Cape Town loading. Your mother is coming with you, and that's period. Mama Sophie stood in the doorway like a force of nature, wearing a neon green crop top, ripped jeans, waist beads, and 3 different rings on her fingers. Her wig was laid to perfection. Her lips were glossed. At 57 years old, she looked like she was ready to fight God himself for the AUX card. Mama. Emeka's shoulders slumped. This was supposed to be a solo trip. Solo what? You think I didn't birth you? I didn't change your diapers. I need that Cape Town lighting for my TikTok glow up. Besides, she struck a pose, hand on hip, I'm not 57. Emotionally, I'm 25. She wasn't joking. Mama Sophie had discovered TikTok 6 months ago, and it had discovered her right back. 1 million followers. Dance challenges. Motivational quotes over sunset backgrounds. Zero shame. She'd rebranded herself as Sophie Body Jens, and the internet had embraced her with open arms. Jesus Christ, Emeka muttered. Ring light. Check. 3 weeks, 1 for daytime, 1 for golden hour, 1 for emergencies. Check. Bluetooth speaker. Check. Satin bonnet, because even on vacation, edges must be laid. She threw her bags onto his bed. We leave in 2 hours. Make sure you pack my good phone charger. But 400 kilometers north, in Kano, another storm was brewing. Khadija sat quietly on her mother's couch, hands folded in her lap, trying to find the right words. Mama, I'm going on a short trip to Cape Town. Just a week. To rest. Mama Rana didn't even look up from the kuli she was wrapping in newspaper. You're not going alone. Mama, I'm 28. I don't care if you're 48. You are unmarried. You will not travel alone to a foreign country where men wear tight shorts and women forget their hijabs. Khadija sighed. She'd expected this. Mama, it's just a vacation. Vacation is where the devil does his best work. I'm coming. And that was that. Mama Rana was a force you didn't argue with. She was old school Northern Nigeria. Strict. Traditional. She believed makeup was rebellion, ripped jeans were spiritual leakage, and loudness was demon possession. She packed her bags with military precision. Dried kuli, a Quran, hot spices wrapped in foil, a wooden ladle, just in case discipline was needed. Shea butter in an old margarine container. Enough incense to cleanse an entire airport terminal. These modern girls, she muttered as she zipped her bag. Travel alone. Meet strange men. come back with piercings and tattoos and attitudes. Two mothers. Two completely different worlds. One destination. What could possibly go wrong? Port Harcourt International Airport was buzzing with the usual chaos. Announcements in 3 languages. Vendors selling everything from phone chargers to roasted plantain. Families saying loud goodbyes. And then, loud Afrobeat suddenly erupted from a Bluetooth speaker. Cape Town loading. Hot girl aesthetics. International body activated. Watch me secure this passport stamp and SLAY, period. Mama Sophie was filming herself in the middle of the terminal, phone in one hand, striking poses with the other. She spun. She twirled. Her waist bead swung wide in a perfect arc. And smacked directly into someone behind her. My friend. Mama Sophie stopped mid-pose. She turned slowly. Mama Rana stood there, eyes blazing, wrapper perfectly tied, headscarf immaculate, looking like judgment personified. Excuse me. Mama Sophie said. Respect your old age before Allah melts your battery life. The crowd gasped. Phones came out. This was premium Nigerian drama, live and uncut. Mama Sophie put one hand on her hip. Old age. Sister, speak for yourself. I'm a Gen Z baddie with a senior citizen discount. There's a difference. You're wearing crop tops at 57. Have you no shame? Shame left my body when my TikTok hit 1 million followers. You should try it. Oh wait, you probably think Wi-Fi is witchcraft. The crowd owed in unison. Emeka rushed forward, grabbing his mother's arm. Mama, please. Khadija pulled hers back. Mama, we are late for boarding. But as their eyes met across the chaos, Emeka and Khadija, something unexpected happened. Recognition. Sympathy. The shared exhaustion of people with impossible mothers. I'm so sorry about my mother, Emeka said sheepishly. Khadija smiled slightly. I'm sorry about mine. And just like that, in the middle of a cultural war zone, a spark ignited. Fate, or a sadistic airline algorithm, sat the mothers in front of each other on the plane. Emeka and Khadija ended up 2 rows back, watching like hostages watching their captors negotiate. Emeka. Mama Sophie held up her phone. Tilt the phone. The lighting is eating my jawline alive. Mama Rana muttered to Khadija, just loud enough to be heard, if turbulence shakes her, she will remember she's almost 60. And then, because God has a sense of humor, the plane hit turbulence. Not light turbulence. Real, shake you to your core turbulence. Jesus is Lord. Mama Sophie screamed. Light. This is a spiritual attack. Her wig slid sideways. Her ring light tumbled to the floor. Her aesthetic was ruined. The entire plane erupted in laughter. Mama Rana allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. Even gravity knows age. Mama Sophie frantically fixed her wig, her face burning with embarrassment. This is technical difficulties. My edges are fine. Behind them, Khadija and Emeka were trying not to laugh. Your mom is intense, Emeka whispered, leaning over the armrest. Yours just called turbulence a spiritual attack. Touché. And somewhere between Lagos and Cape Town, between crop tops and incense smoke, between chaos and laughter, they fell for each other. Cape Town was beautiful. Table Mountains stood majestic against blue skies. Sunset painted the beaches gold. Street musicians played at every corner. And 2 young people tried desperately to have a moment. Emeka. Come take my picture with this statue. Make sure you get my good side. Mama Sophie's voice carried across the waterfront. Khadija. Don't stand too close to that man selling souvenirs. He could be a ritualist. Mama Rana's warning came from the opposite direction. Emeka sighed. I'm sorry. Again. But Khadija was laughing. Don't be. This is actually kind of fun. In a chaotic way. They talked about everything over the next few days. Work. Dreams. Family. Why their mothers were the way they were. My dad died when I was 12, Emeka said one evening as they walked along the beach. She raised me alone. I think the TikTok thing is her way of feeling young again. Of feeling like she still matters. Khadija's voice was soft. My mom lost her husband too. 5 years ago. She's scared I'll make the wrong choice. That I get hurt. That I'll forget where I came from. Understanding flowed between them. Empathy. Connection. Emeka reached for her hand. What if we didn't let them ruin this? What if we let them be crazy, together? They both laughed. And just like that, against all odds, despite their mother's best efforts, love bloomed. 6 months later, they married. The wedding was beautiful chaos. Mama Safi wore a bedazzled purple osoebi and filmed the entire ceremony for TikTok. Mama Rana wore traditional northern attire and kept a disapproving eye on the DJ's song choices. They refused to stand next to each other in photos but both cried during the vows. And then, 9 months after the wedding. Congratulations, the doctor announced. Twins. A boy and a girl. Emeka stared at the two tiny humans, exhausted and overjoyed. Twins. Khadija was crying happy tears. We are parents. They made one decision immediately, right there in the hospital room. 2 weeks, Emeka said family. No visitors. Just us and the babies. Phones off. Gate locked. Peace, Khadija agreed. Peace. That beautiful, naive word. Mama Safi had installed a digital baby due date tracker app on her phone. The moment Khadija went into labor, somewhere in the digital universe, an algorithm knew. An alert alarm went off on her phone. Within minutes, she was filming herself, breaking news. Hot glam Safi is now a grandma. But make it Gen Z. Stay tuned for the Glow Up Chronicles. #BaddieGrandma. Gen Z Nana. The post went viral. 1 million views in 2 hours. And in Kano, Mama Rana's friend called. Rana, I just saw online, your daughter had twins. The pot Mama Rana was holding clattered to the floor. Twins. And nobody told me. She packed her cooler with terrifying efficiency. Tuo. Kunu. Pepper soup still hot in a thermos. Incense. Her wooden ladle. And enough righteous anger to power a small generator. At Emeka and Khadija's house, the gate was locked. The doorbell disconnected. Phone silenced. The twins, one boy, one girl, slept peacefully in their bassinets. This is nice, Khadija whispered, rocking the baby girl gently. Quiet. So quiet, Emeka agreed, holding the boy. Then. Bang bang bang. Someone was pounding on the door. No, not pounding. Attacking. Who is that? Emeka whispered, panicked. I don't know, we told everyone. Khadija opened this door. Are you hiding my grandchildren from me? Mama Rana's voice could wake the dead. Oh no, Khadija breathed. The pounding stopped. For a moment, there was silence. Then they heard it. Scraping. Climbing. Did she just? Emeka couldn't finish the sentence. The front door burst open. Mama Rana had climbed the fence, somehow gotten into the compound, and now stood in their living room, cooler in one hand, wooden ladle in the other, looking like a warrior returning from battle. Where are they? Where are my babies? Mama Rana, we just wanted a few days. Wanted what? To deprive me of my bloodline. I carried her for 9 months. I have rights. And then. Loud Afrobeats suddenly blasted from outside. The bass shook the windows. Everyone froze. The door opened again. Hot glamour has landed, period. Mama Sophie strutted in wearing a tracksuit, fresh wig, full makeup, dragging a suitcase covered in Gen Z stickers. The baby boy woke up and started crying. Khadija looked at Emeka with devastated eyes. No. And so it began. What followed was 7 days of pure, unfiltered, grandmotherly warfare. Feeding time became a battlefield. Breast milk only, Mama Rana insisted, holding a wooden spoon. The way our ancestors intended. Ancestors didn't have silicone bottles with temperature sensors, sis, Mama Sophie countered, pulling out a high-tech bottle. Welcome to 2025. You want to feed my grandchild formula made in a factory? It's organic. It has DHA. It's verified. The babies cried louder. Emeka begged them to stop. They didn't. Baby soothing became a concert. Mama Rana sang traditional lullabies in Hausa, Ronko Yedade, Ronko Yedade. Mama Sophie pulled out her phone and blasted Burna Boy, City Lullaby Remix. The baby needs to know good music. The twin boy screamed. The twin girl joined him. They both looked confused with life. Skincare became chemical warfare. Shea butter and palm oil, Mama Rana rubbed the mixture on the baby's skin. This is what I used on Khadija. She turned out perfect. Vegan. Organic. Coconut baby butter. Dermatologist approved. Influencer tested. Mama Sophie held up her bottle like it was the Holy Grail. Influencer. What is that? A disease. It's called progress, Mama. Try it sometime. Khadija whispered to Emeka, I'm losing my mind. We both are. And then came the great bath war. Mama Rana filled the basin with steaming hot water. Proper temperature. Like my mother taught me. Mama Sophie rushed in, horrified. Wait. What is this, a yam boiling session? If your elbow does not peel slightly, the water is not warm enough. That's abuse. There are thermometers for this. Thermometer. We are bathing a baby, not checking for fever. Mama Sophie grabbed the baby girl. Give her to me before you cook her. Mama Rana pulled back. You'll freeze her with your cold foreign ideas. They played tug-of-war with a screaming infant. Water splashed everywhere. Someone slipped. A loud crash. Mama Sophie's wig flew off. Mama Rana's wrapper came loose. My wig. My wrapper. Water covered the bathroom floor. Dignity was nowhere to be found. The baby screamed like tiny referees in a wrestling match. Khadija walked in and simply stared at the chaos. What is happening? Both grandmas pointed at each other simultaneously. She started it. That night, things escalated further. Mama Sophie set up her white noise machine. Scientifically proven to help babies sleep. Gentle ocean sounds filled the room. 5 minutes later, Mama Rana began singing loudly, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Excuse me. They were just falling asleep. Prayer is more important than your fake ocean sounds. Mama Sophie turned up the volume. Nature heals. Mama Rana sang louder. Faith conquers. Both volumes increased. The house vibrated with competing frequencies. And then, pop. Everything went dark. The lights were out. The lights. Emeka's voice came from somewhere in the darkness. The generator sputtered but refused to start. The generator's dead, Khadija said. And in the pitch-black darkness, both twins started screaming. Where are the babies? Mama Sophie's panicked voice. I have them. Mama Rana. That's my granddaughter you're holding. This is the boy. Sounds of wrestling. Furniture falling. More screaming. Someone turn on a light. Emeka yelled. Then, loud banging on the front door. Open up. We received reports of domestic violence. Khadija opened the door with her phone light. The security guard stood there, baton ready. It's not violence, she said tiredly. It's grandmothers. The security guard looked confused. That's worse. The next morning brought a new crisis. The twin boy had a small diaper rash. Just a little redness. Minor. Treatable. Mama Rana examined it with serious eyes. Rash. I know exactly what to do. She pulled out her containers. Shea butter. Palm oil. Mixed together. Ancient remedy that has never failed. Mama Sophie rushed in. Wait. What are you putting on him? Medicine. That's cooking oil. I have lavender essential oil and proper baby powder. Lavender. This is not a spa. This is healing. And then, against all logic, all common sense, all parenting knowledge, they both applied their remedies. At the same time. To the same baby. Mama Sophie dabbed her lavender oil on one side. Mama Rana rubbed her palm oil mixture on the other. My way works. My way works. The twin boy started screaming. Really screaming. The kind of scream that suggests something is very wrong. The twin girl, sensing distress, joined in sympathy. Neighbors started knocking on the walls. What is happening in there? Khadija's voice cracked. That's it. She grabbed the car keys. Emeka scooped up both babies. We are going to the hospital. Now. The hospital was quiet. Clean. Sterile. A stark contrast to the war zone they'd been living in. The doctor, a woman in her 60s with kind but stern eyes, examined the baby boy carefully. What? She looked up at the group. What is this mixture on his skin? Both grandmas spoke simultaneously. Medicine. Who mixed palm oil and powder on a newborn? Silence. Mama Sophie pointed. She started with the oil. Mama Rana pointed back. She added the powder. Stop. The doctor's voice cut through everything. Both of you, stop talking. She set down her instrument and looked at them both. Do you know what happens when you mix oil-based and powder-based products on sensitive skin? Do you know you could have caused a serious infection? That his skin could have developed a reaction. Mama Sophie's voice was small. I didn't think. Exactly. You didn't think. You were competing. Mama Rana's usual strong voice wavered. We just wanted to help. Help requires cooperation. Not war. These babies don't need two versions of care. They need one. Consistent. Safe. Agreed upon. Both grandmas started crying. Quiet tears that came from a place deeper than pride. In that sterile hospital room, something broke. Not the babies. Not the parents. But the walls both women had built around their need to be right. They sat in the hospital corridor afterward. Emeka held both sleeping babies. Khadija sat beside him, exhausted beyond words. I can't do this anymore, she whispered. Khadija. We waited so long for these babies. We planned everything. And now? I'm scared. I'm scared they are going to get hurt because our mothers can't stop fighting. Footsteps approached. Both grandmas stood there, eyes red, looking smaller somehow. Khadija. Mama Sophie's voice was soft. My daughter. Mama Rana echoed. Khadija looked up, tears streaming down her face. Do you both love us? Of course, they started. Then why are you doing this? Why are you turning our home into a battlefield? Why are you making everything about who's right instead of what's right for the babies? Heavy silence filled the corridor. Khadija continued, her voice breaking, you both raised strong children. You both did it your way. And we turned out fine. But these are our children. And your competition, your constant fighting, it's hurting them. It's hurting us. Mama Sophie's voice trembled. I just wanted to be useful. I wanted to show that I still know things. That I'm not old. Forgotten. Emeka looked at his mother, surprised. Mama. Tears fell down Mama Sophie's face, smearing her perfect makeup. Your father died. You grew up. You don't need me anymore. The TikTok, the Gen Z thing, it was stupid, wasn't it? I was just trying to feel relevant. Like I still mattered. And then Mama Rana spoke, her voice breaking in a way Khadija had never heard before. I was afraid. Afraid that these new modern ways would replace everything I taught you. That I would become unnecessary. That my knowledge, my traditions, they would die with me. Mama. Khadija started crying harder. I didn't want to be forgotten. I didn't want my grandchildren to look at me and see just an old woman with old ways. Someone to be tolerated but not valued. Emeka stood up carefully, still holding the babies. You could never be forgotten. Either of you. But you have to work together. Please. For them. For us. Both grandmas were crying now. Real, ugly, honest tears. Mama Sophie reached out her hand. I'm sorry. Mama Rana looked at that hand for a long moment. Then she took it. I am too. And there, in a hospital corridor in Port Harcourt, two warriors finally laid down their weapons. They went home together. Actually together, sitting in the same car without arguing. That night, they did something revolutionary. They sat down at the kitchen table with paper and pen, and they created a schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I handle morning routines, Mama Sophie said. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, I do the same, Mama Rana agreed. Sundays? Emeka asked carefully. Both grandmas looked at each other, then back at him. Parents only. Khadija smiled for the first time in days. Really? Really, Mama Rana said. And, maybe I can learn about this temperature thermometer. Mama Sophie looked surprised. And maybe you can teach me your lullaby. It actually did calm them down that one time. Progress. Slow. Imperfect. But real. The babies cooed softly in their bassinets, unaware that peace had been declared. Mama Rana looked at them, her expression soft. They are beautiful. They really are, Mama Sophie agreed. A pause. Then Mama Rana spoke quietly, Your TikTok video of them was actually nice. Mama Sophie turned, genuinely surprised. You watched it? My friend showed me. You made them look very loved. Mama Sophie smiled. Maybe next one, we film together. Mama Rana considered this. I'll think about it. Baby steps. Literally. 2 days passed. The house was calm. Routines were followed. Mama Sophie handled morning baths on her assigned days using the thermometer. Mama Rana did the same on hers, adding just a little shea butter afterward. They took turns cooking. They even watched a movie together. Peace reigned. And then, it's my turn to hold her for the family photo, Mama Sophie said. No, it's mine. I held the boy yesterday. But I held him for 3 minutes less than you. 3 minutes. Are you timing me? Maybe I am. Gentle bickering filled the living room. Emeka looked at Khadija. Should we? Khadija shook her head, smiling. No. Let them. It's quiet bickering. That's progress. Fine, Mama Rana conceded. You hold the girl. I'll hold the boy. But my side of the photo gets better lighting. Better lighting. Sister, I taught you about lighting. The student cannot surpass the master. Watch me. Both women laughed. Actually laughed together. Emeka looked amazed. Are they laughing? I think they are friends now, Khadija said. In their own weird way. And so, in a house that had almost burned down, not from fire, but from love expressed catastrophically, two grandmothers learned something important. The opposite of chaos isn't silence. It's harmony. Emeka. Mama Safi called out. Take the picture. Make sure you get my good angle. And mine. Mama Rana added. No cutting off my wrapper. Then, together, both grandmas said, and make sure the babies are in focus. The camera clicked. The babies could. Everyone laughed. They would argue again. Many times. About feeding schedules and clothing choices and whose turn it was to sing lullabies. But never like before. Never with that desperate edge of fear and competition. Because now they knew the real competition wasn't between old ways and new ways. It wasn't about who was right or who knew better. It was between love and fear. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being replaced. Fear of becoming irrelevant. And love had won. The two grandmas who almost burned down the house became the two grandmas who rebuilt it. Together. One thermometer and one wooden ladle at a time. And in the end, those twins, one boy, one girl, would grow up with something precious. Not just one way of being loved, but two. Not just one tradition, but a beautiful, chaotic mixture of both. They would know shea butter and lavender oil. Traditional lullabies and burner boy. Wooden spoons and temperature sensors. Modest wraps and bold crop tops. They would know that love doesn't have to look one way. That grandmothers can be warriors and still find peace. That family isn't about being the same, it's about showing up even when it's messy. Especially when it's messy. Because in the end, the best families aren't the perfect ones. They're the ones who almost burn down the house, and then rebuild it together, laughing the whole way. If you enjoyed this story, hit the subscribe button and turn on notification for more beautiful stories like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.